How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today on this Tuesday, 25th of June, 2024. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a moment and hit that thumbs up button if you're on Rumble or YouTube. Take that red pill if you're over on Pill, and smash that heart if you're on X.
Yeah, we truly appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you give us that digital love. It's always appreciated, and it helps us out a lot. So, let's see. Aaron, yeah, he was here first today, F. Glenn. Tag, you're it. Let's see. Yeah, I know. There was only one at the time. Aaron started the thumbs up the love fest over there. What's up, Chachi? Hope everything's going good. Jan, how's it going, Jan? Hope you're doing good over there. Got Denise. What's up, Denise? And Colleen. How you doing, Colleen? People showing up here today. That's nice. And then Aaron, special shout out to you. Thank you very much for that Rumble rant there. We do appreciate it, man.
And thank you, Denise, for the Cash App.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Didn't know that. Thank you very much. Oh, thumbs up activated. We appreciate that. Bloop. Truly appreciate it. All right. So it's a day. There's been things going on. There's Bethany Ann.
There's Bethany.
Bethany Ann. All right.
There's been a lot going on.
Yeah, there has been a lot going on. Yeah, I'm ready.
We, the people, have had enough collectively. They better be careful because we've had enough of it. People are like getting ready to rise up circa 1970 or 1776. We can't do it anymore. People can't survive. I mean, our food is being poisoned, our water is being poisoned by pharmaceuticals, and we are at a point now where we're considering leaving the country. We are considering moving to Eastern Europe.
I personally think Eastern Europe is one of the bright spots in the world. I think it's beautiful. Yeah. I think the people are great. I personally would wait till after the election.
Right.
You know, maybe there are signs of meaningful positive change, and you don't have to. You hate to leave your own, the country where you're born, where your grandparents are buried. Like it's a lot. But if I was going to leave and move somewhere else, I'd rather live in Romania than Baltimore. You can't even live in this country if you don't make
exactly
a lot of money. You've got little kids. You don't make $300,000 a year. You're going under. $300,000 a year.
Wow.
Thoughts, Santino?
It's kind of sad that even considering that, it's like, no, there's no real choice. No, we can't. There's nowhere to escape to. I think that's a terrible thing that he's pushing forth, and that's not the way to go. This is the last place. I mean, it may be pretty over there, and they may be nicer and everything, but that doesn't mean that we can't fix what's going on here. So it kind of disappoints me about Tucker that he would even be talking about that right now. But I guess at the same time, it could be considered some kind of a public service announcement that if they steal it again and you have the ability to get away, maybe that's the place to go. Especially if I guess you don't have, really anything at all worth sticking around for. I don't know. I mean, running is always an option, I guess. Watch Braveheart before you leave.
Exactly.
Or the other one that he did that was basically Braveheart, but here in the U.S.
Patriot.
The Patriot, yeah. Watch that one too.
You ready?
Yeah.
Got more Tucker.
More Tucker.
Was it surprising to you that Mike Pompeo, the neocon former CIA director who plotted to murder your husband, who had not been charged with anything in the U.S. at that point, that he was allowed to continue to be prominent in the United States? He ran for president after that, and no one in the American media said anything about it, really. No one even mentioned that he tried to murder your husband. What did you think of that?
Well, I think the CIA is a rogue organization that everyone on every level of the U.S. politics is terrified of. They are trained to assassinate. They are trained to fabricate information and place it in the media and conduct propaganda warfare and overthrow governments and so on. Not just abroad, it seems that there's a credible case that they've done so domestically too.
All right. There's a lot going on there. So yeah, big news. Julian Assange got sentenced with time served in a British prison. And so now he's on his way back home. And then there's some comms there with Julian Assange crossing the red line. on the airplane that he was getting on. So there's that. I don't know if we have anything about that. No, okay. So yeah, he crossed a red line on the plane. Is one of the photos, and so that's kind of one of the things that's going on. So how could he cross the red line? Well, right now the speculation is that since he pled guilty, he's able to give his testimony now. Now he can talk. He's free to talk about everything. And I think we're going to start hearing a lot more about Seth Rich coming up here real soon. That's going to be a name that we're probably going to hear a lot more of. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep your eye on, and have your Seth Rich information, kind of ready for you. Know who he is. He was, hey, what's up, F. Clem? Know that he was a Democratic operative, and he's the one who started all the wiki leaking. So all the leaking. So that's big information, and sadly, he gave the ultimate sacrifice for it. So that's something that is going to help wake a bunch of people up. Now that Assange is probably free to talk, is going to be my guess. Now she's setting up the whole concept of the CIA being rogue and needs to be shut down. But I guarantee you, once all the dust settles, that the good elements within the CIA will probably have a good story as to how they helped out in all of this. And so I don't know. I know that that's something that they want to do, is to get rid of the CIA. And I can understand why, because it's a collection of too much information, and especially nowadays, information is power. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out.
You ready?
Yeah.
Julian Assange has been locked away in one place or another for more than a decade. Julian Assange is so despised by elements within the permanent U.S. government that at one point, CIA Director Mike Pompeo discussed murdering him in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he was seeking asylum. Mike Pompeo has never been charged for that, which is a crime. Unelected bureaucrats can't just murder people they don't like. Virtually the entire ruling class in Washington is opposed to Julian Assange, and that's the reason that he has sat for years now in Belmarsh prison in London. Keep in mind, Julian Assange has not been charged with a crime in Great Britain, and yet he's being held there. So this fall, we went to Belmarsh and we asked Julian Assange, why do you think you're being held as the most wanted man in America without ever being charged with a real crime? Here's what he told us.
And my first question to him was, what do you think this is actually about, since you haven't been accused of a crime? And he said something that really struck me, and I think, having spent my life in Washington, is absolutely right. He said he first became famous when WikiLeaks published documents and videos that the US government had kept secret from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. They were gravely embarrassing to the Pentagon. That wasn't the red line. The red line was several years later when WikiLeaks published information about surveillance by the CIA. He famously published the contents of Hillary Clinton's email account. I asked him, when you published these emails, did you realize how powerful Hillary Clinton was? And I said, looking back, do you regret doing that? He goes, honestly, it was fun.
Thoughts?
Well, that kind of plays into what I was talking about how much information he really has. Outside with the dino chickens, you discussed the properties of body armor with the chickens. All right. I hope that they had some useful insights, sir. Anyways, back to Julian Assange. Let's see. So I might have been a little bit off there, but I know that Seth Rich definitely gave information to Julian Assange, and that cost him his life. So yeah, pretty much anything that was on WikiLeaks is going to be some big news coming up here real soon. And I expect a lot more people to start asking some questions and start going down rabbit holes that they hadn't considered before. So this is some good information, good news. I look forward to again, I'm excited about, what we're about to see. I know it's going to be embarrassing for quite a few people. Yes, with the chickens, Aaron says. You weren't on the air. Oh, okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's because of a loving dad, supportive mom, loving grandfather. I had none of that. So do you see why it's a little bit harder for me to, when I have friends go, oh, Papa, Father God, I'm like, how about Almighty? How about God of War? Like, don't you know I'm trying. So pray for me for that. But I know he loves me because he's never given up on me. And he's always been faithful.
Thoughts?
Okay, so yeah, there was a lot going on there. Made my mind go off in a million different directions. You know,
So this guy can disarm a person in 0.08 seconds. He was mistreated and very, very abused his whole life, and he is now a minister.
oh, that's awesome. Oh, wow. Well, thank you for the backstory on him. I'd never seen him before.
It's really amazing.
Wow, yeah, obviously. Well, I mean, you know what? All that pain that he's gone through makes it so that way he can help people,
Yeah.
you know, and all of us have gone through a lot of pain. And I think that that's something to remember is that pain was then, but what we're really trying to do, especially when we're angry and we're trying to deal with that stuff, we're still trying to protect that little kid that's deep down inside of us that never got protected, especially the way that it needed. But the good thing is that once we go through this and as we're, you know, getting closer to God, we realize that, you know, that was then, this is now. And now our mission is to go out there and help other people see the light that will help them help that little kid that's hurt that they're trying to protect right now. And I think that, you know, that's a really important part of it. So yeah, that's really neat. What's up, Jenny?
Hey, Jenny, watch out for the frogs.
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny. All right. Thanks for coming in.
You ready?
Yeah, let's drive on.
Can somebody please explain to me why this generation of 30 to 40-year-olds look like they're in their 20s and the 20-year-olds look like they're in their early 40s?
Expectations were different back then. Come here. I don't think people understand. People in their 30s and their 40s, they are full-grown adults that stayed young mentally. Does that make sense? The only worry that they had growing up was getting inside the house before the street lights came on if they're playing with their friends most of the day. If you don't believe me, ask anybody in their 30s and their 40s about their favorite TV show or video game growing up. Watch them get excited and revert right back to a kid explaining how the time was back then and how much they miss it. Not only that, when they were playing outside, they were drinking water outside the water hose, and I'm almost certain that there was something in that water that encapsulated their youth. It kept their skin clear and it slowed down the aging process. I'm almost certain. The only thing that changed from youth to a full-grown adult for somebody in their 30s and their 40s is that they went from an extrovert to an introvert. That is simply the only difference. Nowadays, people in their 20s, expectations are different, right? You need to have a full 6-figure job and a great credit score by the age of 12. And if you don't have it by then you're already behind. That adds pressure and it does age you, right? I am in my 20s and people think my dad and I are the same age. When I play 2 truths and a lie, I win every time because one of the things that's true is that Zendaya is older than me and people genuinely still don't believe that. I'm so serious.
He's in his 20s?
No,
Oh, I
I
was gonna.
was joking.
Okay. I mean, I'd take you for your word right there. Wow. Okay. Yeah, he does look a little bit older than 20. So it's like that threw me off completely. Anyway, yeah, it is weird, but that's kind of way things have always been, where the young ones are trying to look old and the older ones are trying to look younger. And then you get to a certain age where you just don't care anymore. I mean, at least you'd hope that we get to that point, right? Doesn't look, you know, putting all that war paint on and all those things, it definitely not good for the skin. But I think that that's another difference too, is that we understood what it was like when we were drinking from water hoses. And he may be right. There may have been something in the water that was a lot cleaner and better for us, hydrated us better. Wouldn't surprise me if they don't put some kind of dehydrating agent inside of the water. But with that being said, we understood what it was like to have fruits to eat as a snack. You know, we still eat somewhat healthy, whereas a lot of kids nowadays, well, a lot of people, and it's really sad to see just all of the fast food, and that stuff is just absolutely awful for you. And so we do know what it's like to take care of ourselves a little bit more, and it's difficult, especially when you get out there on your own. Let's see. Chachi says, I got that all the time. My son is 28 and folks think we're brothers. Wow. That's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Jenny or Aaron. Oh, I thought, never mind. Don't mind me. Yeah, they were talking to each other.
Yeah,
I'll
you
see
ready?
myself out of it.
You ready?
Yeah.
Sasha, what are you hearing? So, Katie, this is all coming to us just moments ago. The former president, according to 4 sources familiar with the situation, could announce his vice presidential pick as soon as this week. Several sources telling us it could come before Thursday night's debate. Now, he had said publicly that he was going to announce closer to the convention, either at the convention or shortly before. But one source telling me that there was a shift in the conversation as early as last week to pivot and to do this sooner, to make a splash earlier. They're, of course, working with some date constraints here. They're looking at the sentencing on July 11th, the Republican National Convention right after, and of course, the debate on Thursday. So they've been trying to work out, looking at these different options, looking at the pros and cons of when to announce. And it seems now that they are considering announcing this week, again, potentially before the debate. We're still working out on details about why exactly this decision was made, but we are now looking at a very soon, knowing who the running mate will be for former President Trump.
So who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just letting that one slide. But, you know, the Byron Donalds thing, if they're talking about Byron Donalds on the news a lot, then yeah, they're prepping us for something. And that's a very real possibility. Or it could be a rope-a-dope. We have no idea why any of that's happening. I know I had seen something where President Trump had said that the person that he's picked doesn't even know yet. So it's kind of one of those strategic moves kind of things. And it is a very strategic move because I have a feeling that whoever he picks for vice president is going to destroy a lot of the things that they're looking at for ammunition against Trump. You think it'll be a wild card? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that could very well be too. You know, we really don't have an idea, and trying to understand Trump sometimes is a bit tricky. But then again, that's how he's able to help play the game the way that he's playing it, right? So yeah, I'm not putting too much stock into any of the speculation about who it's going to be, but I do know that whoever he picks is going to throw a wrench into the Democratic Party's plan, whatever that plan it is they think they have. Yeah. Trump is always 10 steps ahead, Jenny. And he's definitely, well, what, a 5D chess player, I think is what we're saying. Yeah. Yeah, he's always 10 steps ahead. Sure enough.
You ready?
Yeah.
There is no way that I could show you that the Bible is the Word of God. So I wouldn't want to waste your time or my time trying. I'm out here pointing people to Jesus Christ. And obviously, you don't read about Jesus in Genesis through Malachi. You read about Jesus in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the 4 Gospels in the New Testament. So the question is, what's the evidence that those Gospels are reliable? First point. The number of manuscripts that we have for the New Testament is embarrassingly wealthy. For Aristotle, Plato, Caesar, Tacitus, Thucydides, and Herodotus, at the most for any one of their works, we've got 20 extant manuscripts. For the New Testament, we have over 5,000 Greek manuscripts or pieces of manuscript. No comparison. Then we've got the Vulgate, Latin Vulgate translation of the Bible, which is from the 5th century, the 400s, written by Jerome. We have over 8,000 manuscripts of the Latin Vulgate. So the manuscript evidence, the number of manuscripts for the New Testament is so superior to any document from antiquity, it's fascinating. Second point, what's the gap year-wise between the writing of the document and the first manuscript that we have? For Aristotle, Plato, Caesar, Tacitus, Thucydides, Herodotus, the gap is anywhere from 700 to 1400 years. For the Gospels, the Gospel of John, the gap is 30 to 80 years. Today, at the John Rylands University Library in Manchester, England, there's a fragment of John chapter 18 that is dated 117 to 128 AD. That is a gap of 30 to 80 years from the time John wrote the Gospel of John to the first manuscript that we have. Nothing from antiquity even approaches the New Testament. in that small gap between the date of writing and the first manuscript. Third point, we have 42 people who wrote within 150 years of Christ about Jesus. We have 10 who wrote about Tiberius Caesar within 150 years of Tiberius Caesar's life. Obviously, Tiberius Caesar was the most famous man of his day. He was the Roman emperor. 10 people wrote about Tiberius Caesar between his life and 150 years. 42 people wrote about Jesus between his life and the end of 150 years. So for somebody to try and argue that Jesus is not an historical person is really embarrassing. Fourth point, read the Gospels. Notice the tremendous honesty of the authors. Notice how Peter, the leader of the first century church, is pictured in living color in his sin, in his stupidity, with his severe open mouth and jet foot disease. Now, if I'd have been the leader of the church in the first century, I would want those sections rubbed out. But the Gospels have the wonderful ring of authenticity as they record the problems, the sins, the failures of those first century leaders of the Christian church. Notice also that the Gospels give us too much detail. The Gospels record that after Jesus was crucified, he was buried in a tomb belonging to Joseph of Arimathea. That's a mistake, because that means we can investigate whether the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea was empty or full with the body of Christ. And obviously, 3 days after Christ died, the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea was empty. And that is why the opponents to the first followers of Christ did not say, oh, the tomb is full. Rather, they said, the tomb is obviously empty, but you guys stole his body. So obviously, the Gospels are giving a lot of detail regarding the life, the death, and the resurrection of Jesus. Too much detail if they were lying. When you lie, you got to be smart. You got to cover your tracks. And you don't give too much detail, otherwise people can go and check up on you. So that is why I think it's clear the evidence is the Gospels give us accurate history.
Thought, Santino?
So we know that the disciples all lost their lives, and the main argument is that they were lying. But I think that this is even better because it's much more of a debunking of a lot of the stuff that they say, because it was written so many years after. That's a common argument that's made about the scriptures, being faked or whatever, because it was written so many years afterwards. But once he was pointing out all of those philosophers and the Roman, generals or emperors that we hear about, those are written hundreds of years after as well. So what makes those any more believable, especially when they have fewer sources that speak about them or the things that were being said? So these are the kinds of arguments that I think that are necessary for us to arm ourselves with, especially as believers, because it's one of those things that provides a little bit more evidence. Is it clear cut, crystal clear? No, because somebody can always say, no, that's not good enough. They would have wanted to see, a photograph of Jesus, and who knows if they would even accept that if that was something there. Yeah, bunch of science deniers. Exactly, Aaron. But the thing is we can use the same science, their scientific process that they use to debunk Jesus, which they do poorly. So we can use the exact same reasoning that they use. And at a certain point in time, they get backed into a corner. Yeah, believe your TV, not your eyes. Yeah, that's exactly how they get us to this point, Aaron, is they get us believing the television. Whatever. But the fact that there's so much evidence out there, yeah, that's a little, arrow in the quiver there.
You ready?
Yeah.
Man, I've been sitting here reading stuff and I'm trying to figure some of y'all out. I mean, going down the comment section online is like trying to snake the toilet with your bare arm to the elbow. I mean, you're going to pull up some real shit. I'm here for it. But listen, you people, I mean, you think you have a handle on everybody else's life you must need a dopamine hit like this, a response. So here you go. Now, look, you don't know anything about anybody's personal life, not some online personality. You don't know. Look, I don't care how public they are. I don't care how much they reveal. You don't know. And yeah, we can handle it or we wouldn't put it out there. We chose this life, but I'm still going to give you a cautionary warning because it's amazing that you think you can look at somebody else's life based on their 1.5 minute soliloquy online and think you're some kind of digital Nostradamus that sees things into their life that nobody else does. Now, telling people how to live their lives, love their people, raise their kids, date, marry, divorce, their relationship with Jesus, and how they got to be this or that, criticizing a stranger's life because I mean, listen, it only means you're jealous and you're lacking something and you feel the need to pull them down to your level. Nothing about their business is your business. So discussing the topic at hand, listen, we put it out there. It's free game. Talk about it. But jumping into somebody else's personal life faster than your mom did in the back seat of the drive-in only tells us you lack something mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But please keep commenting because it keeps boosting this stuff to the top, feeds the algorithm, baby, and that's what we're here for. We're just out here trying to tell jokes and sell tickets, okay? So to be honest with you, we need all the help we can get. So chat it up, baby. You know it all, and we love it. I love you. God bless you. The Facebook book.
Thoughts?
That's pretty funny. But that's the thing. So people need that dopamine hit. And that's something sad, but that's generally what it boils down to is some people need some attention, whatever. I mean, that's what it is. That's pretty funny though. Yeah.
They're 5 seconds of fame.
Yeah. They're 5 seconds of fame. Yeah. Whatever the case may be.
You ready?
Yeah.
The LGBT children should not fear who they are. No one should be made to fight alone. We're all in this together. I've heard that before, and we will fight with pride. Will we, Cammie? Will we? Did you always care about the gay community, Cammie, or is it just recently? When did you start wearing your little Salina sport jackets to Pride? And also, we didn't have a problem until y'all started using us. Nobody had a problem. But you started using us for your own political gain. And now everyone's got a problem with them. You see how that worked out? Everyone's tired. Everyone's fish oils. Joe needs these. I'm taking my vitamins. Everyone's tired of listening to it. We're all done. We're sick and tired of it. Even our community is tired of it. They're tired of being used. You know what, Kava? Do me a favor. Shut.
He brings up some amazing points.
He's a little pissed.
He is. Well, he has every right to be pissed because as soon as he said it, I remembered, once upon a time. And what he was saying is they never had any problems until the politicians got involved and tried to make it something that, was a, thing that they could get support for. And see, that's the thing is nobody really cared. You do you, I'll do me. Everybody does their own thing so long as it's not hurting anybody. Leave the kids alone. And that's, kind of what it boiled down to. And it was like, live your best life. Everybody's a free country. Do what you want. That was kind of how we lived around here. And it's something now that it's been politicized. It's been made into the very thing that everybody wanted to avoid to begin with. And it's been turned into some kind of a bargaining chip. And it's sad that people are allowing themselves to be used as a bargaining chip that way. But I'm glad that Ant is pointing it out. Aaron says there was a study in Sun City, Arizona about mini supplements. 1990s, I think they may have changed the supplements, and most of them are pooped out.
Yeah, that's true.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That's true.
All right. Interesting factoid there.
Yeah.
But then again, you're supposed to get your best nutrients and everything from natural food.
Yeah, I know.
So there's that.
So Vandy's the one that made our cups.
Yes.
Hold your cup up. She's going to talk about the wonderful heat wave going on. Ready?
Yes.
This is who made our cup, guys.
It's hotter than a stolen tamale. It's hotter than a red-headed roofer in July. Well, it's hotter than Satan's bathwater. Actually, it's hotter than the center of a calzone. No, it's hotter than Satan's backside. It's hotter than a metal spoon at Hunter Biden's house. I got nothing.
Thoughts?
It's been getting hot lately. But then again, we had such a long, cool, like spring, like an unusually cool and extended spring. So maybe that's why it feels hotter. I don't know. But anyways, it is a nice coffee cup. And by the way, she hand paints all of these things. Yeah, this is an old one. Uh, let's see. Yeah, she paints all these by hand. Then Kay has one as well. And
so
she's
does Bethany.
and so does Bethany. They're all amazing. She's puts her love into it. So they're handcrafted, handmade. And let's see. I need to share that. She does everything on her Facebook page.
No, she has a website now.
Oh, she has a website now?
I just don't know what it is right now.
Okay. Let's see. I think this is it. Opening soon. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Let's see. Here we go. I think I found it. So I'm going to share this page real quick. Thank you for your patience while I do this. By the way, not a paid promo. Just she does amazing work. She's small business, handcrafted, and she makes some amazing cups. And she cares about the children. Very much one of her things. Oh wow, that one's pretty. Yeah. So she does some amazing artwork on these things.
Bethany Ann, why haven't you unboxed yours yet?
She hasn't unboxed hers yet?
No.
Shame. For shame.
So it'll be years.
Oh,
before
stop
Bethany
it. No,
opens
don't
hers.
give that woman a hard time.
Anytime I'm going to make a video, I know that takes. Yes, we will share her Facebook in the Telegram chat.
Okay, in the Telegram chat. Yes, Jenny. Thank you very much. We'll make sure we get that taken care of.
Miss Bethany Ann can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to share it on Rumble as well.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Every 15-year-old kid should be doing this right now. If you're getting an allowance of $300 a month, buy a piece of.
What? $300? Jesus, fix it. $300 allowance a month for your kids to do the damn chores? Are you kidding me? Has inflation hit allowances or something nowadays? I mean, I remember when I was younger, our allowance, me and my two brothers, was the allowance to have a roof over our head, the allowance to have a bed to sleep in, allowance to have food in our stomachs, and the allowance for our mama not to whoop our butts if we didn't have our chores done when she got home. $300 to do your damn chores. You want to know one time I asked my mom for a monetary allowance? You want to know what she gave me? She gave me a bag with about 30 empty pop bottles, said, take your butt to the store. I don't know how it was for y'all when y'all was growing up, but for me and my brothers, we had our weekly chores, and that was to clean one room during that week. We would rotate those rooms between us three brothers every other week. And you want to know what chore we all hated the most? When we got the damn kitchen. When it was our week to do the kitchen because of one thing, the damn dishes. I don't know what it was, but the dishes were just piled up to the damn ceiling. It was a mountain of dishes. And we didn't have no damn dishwasher. That was rich people business. My mom was like, you are the dishwasher. $300 allowance. Mom!
Thoughts?
I guess I was fortunate, though, because I got a $20 a week allowance. But I didn't have any help. I didn't have any siblings. So I had to do it all on my own. Whatever.
Actually,
I think
Santino.
$300 a month? Really? No, I love doing the dishes.
We fight over the dishes.
Yeah.
Except for the last couple of days.
I don't know. I'm like the little kid that still loves doing the dishes. Whatever.
No, $300 a month would never happen in my household.
I can't imagine that. That's,
of
course, I guess with Biden inflation.
My mom was like his mom. You know what your allowance is? You get to live here. Now go clean that damn room.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I asked for a raise. I got that response. I can come do yours. That's fine, Jenny. I could do that. That's funny. Let's see. Aaron says, my mom gave me an extra $25 a week because the high school cafeteria paid me $2.25 an hour. Oh, look at you, Mr. Union boss over here. And free lunch 90 minutes a day when I was 14 to do the kitchen work. All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Got Tucker again.
They're pushing the population right to the point of revolution. How about we give you nothing and you shut up and take it?
You're going to get a digital ID, you're going to get central bank digital currencies, you're going to live in 15-minute cities, we're going to tell you what to eat, your currency will be programmable, so we'll have complete moment-to-moment in real-time control of everything you do. Now, that's a heck of a gamble for a very narrow group of people to take with billions of people, because there's nothing in it for the people. And I think they have fumbled the ball. I think that's where there's hope. It only takes 5%, 10% of people to cotton on and do something about it and make the difference. And I think that in the final moves towards this kind of neo-feudalism, they have exposed themselves. They've gone galloping towards the finishing line too early, in the wrong way, and too many people have seen it. In there somewhere is hope.
Thoughts?
Well, that's a more hopeful message that's being relayed there. I think it's good. Thank God there's that hopeful message. But with that being said, that's really the greatest breakdown as to how they failed. They got greedy. They got prideful. And so they started making mistakes because they wanted it now. What was it? Like the blueberry on Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory. I want it now, Daddy.
Oh, I can't remember her damn name.
Like Lula or no, that was some other movie. Anyways, yeah, whatever.
I can't remember.
Anyways, that's how they got to where they're at. They got greedy. They started, trying to make it happen too soon. Oh, that's it. Veruca salt. There it is. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You got to read this one.
Thank you, Jenny. I want it now, Daddy.
You got to read it now.
Okay, can't believe you're voting for Trump.
Welcome to the shit show.
Do you know what he's done to women? Oh, God.
Every single
What he says about them?
day.
Biden's any better? Title IX and Roe versus Wade were overturned under his presidency. At least Trump knows what one is. That's not funny. We're not going there. He wants to grab them by it. Oh, God. Are they still using that? Some people have admitted they'd rather be grabbed in the kitty than have their country ran by a, what was that? Same thing? Kitty? Yeah, then run by one.
And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, boulder, dash, poppycock.
That's pretty funny. Are people still using that?
Yes.
And they really have no idea what they're talking about. It's amazing. Wow, that was good. That was good. Wish he would use sound. The meow? Meow. What's meow?
Yeah.
Meow. Oh, the meow. Meow. There you go. Thank you. True story.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Buckle up, because the second half of 2024 is going to be crazier than the first. Numbers play a really important role for me along my path. I'm big into gematria and the cipher. I study Grabovoi codes, and I often refer to Sumerian gematria. Before there was a written language, tribes would communicate through pictographs and numbers. It is the original universal language, and 624 of 2024 Yesterday is a very, very crazy day. Yesterday, the machine that records the Schumann resonance, or Earth's vibration, which typically sits around 7.83 hertz solfeggio, recorded a 10-hour blackout, which means the Earth's vibration was off the chart. CDK Global and the Federal Reserve are undergoing cyber attacks currently. The hacker, which goes by the name of Lockbit, claims that they have over 33 terabytes of confidential data. And they're telling the Fed that if they don't comply with the hacker's request, they're going to release that sensitive data to the public today. Back to the 23rd, there was a Class M 9.3 solar flare, which absolutely throttled Earth. I've been feeling a major shift these past couple of days. Our ancestors had a very close relationship with the Earth. She is called the Divine Feminine, the sacred goddess. She is motherly in nature because she feeds us. She keeps us safe and protected from other elements. I'm not sure if you're aware of what's been happening lately while we've been sleeping, but there are specific programs that will go unnamed that have been pulsing microwaves into the atmosphere. These microwaves are pulsed through all major coastal areas, populated areas, and even inland populated areas. But the Divine Feminine, the Sacred Mother, says, we're not having any of that.
Okay, so yesterday, he brought up the numerology for yesterday, and I know it was 6/24/24. So if you add 2 and 4 together, you get 6. So it was kind of 666 yesterday. It felt like it though. Yesterday was kind of a rotten day. Let's see,
No,
hard
today
5G
feels worse
devices.
for me.
I think I missed one of the Princeton egg experiment measuring the Schumann resonance. Okay. I don't know. I'm looking that up. Anyway, so with the Schumann resonance, everything's going on. We know that we're going through some changes, and it's been a long time since we talked about the Schumann resonance, because like everybody was getting headaches on a regular basis whenever there was some weird things going on with the Schumann resonance, and we kind of got away from that for a while. And I don't know if we're necessarily going to go back to that. But what I will say is we do know just through the simple observation, and maybe that was the point of what we were doing is that through simple observation, we recognize that there are definitely effects on the human body when the Schumann resonance is going through changes. So we know that we're affected by it, and it was, all over the country. Everybody was reporting, oh, I got a headache, oh, I got this or that or the other thing. Things were flaring up. So we need to remember that is part of this whole process that we're going through. Hey, Carol. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Chachi says, crazy thunderstorms out by me last week or so sound like a war in the sky. Really? Wow. Oh, that's crazy. I love a good thunderstorm, though. So it's something that we need to be aware of, that as we go through these changes, and we have to remember everybody's being affected by these things that are going on. So keep that in mind, make sure that you check the Schumann resonance every now and then, because that does have an effect. So yeah, it's just one of those things to watch out for.
You ready?
Yeah.
Francesca, just on that point, what crime did Trump commit?
It was financial crimes. It was white collar crimes. That is exactly what they charged him. He was convicted on.
What was the crime?
It's New York State law.
I understand. What was the crime?
It is New.
Francesca,
I don't even like it. It is
hang on,
literally, he just got convicted on 34 counts.
Francesca, what was the crime?
Of cooking the actual books.
What was the crime?
You are not allowed. So you are not allowed to use your own financial, your own money to pay off somebody. And then he logged it as something different. He logged it as just a regular payment, but he was actually paying off this porn star to keep quiet, which if he hadn't been running for president would not have mattered, but he was. And so it impacted campaign finance laws in New York State. Okay, that is what Juan Merchan just oversaw this. Alan Bragg got these charges because Michael Cohen was already sentenced to 3 years to do it.
Let's just go before Kevin. I'll be very, very, very patient. We'll come to you.
Look, I'm no expert. Let me just say, hang on.
No,
Michael,
Francesca.
You are no expert.
That's
right. The campaign finance law is a federal law.
Hang on, Francesca. I want to go to Mark. You're the lawyer. Is anything Francesca just said, is that actually the crime?
Look, let me just say, I like Francesca a lot. And we probably agree on 80% of our worldviews. However, Francesca, the way you just described it, call me afterwards and I'll educate you, because that's not what happened. There was no theory that was given to the to the jurors. The jurors were told it could have been campaign finance, it could have been tax, it could have been false books. They were told they didn't have to specify, and specifically told they did not have to agree unanimously. That's what irks me. Lifelong Democrat, no fan of Trump, never voted for Trump, never will. But I will tell you, as somebody who has spent his entire career kind of taking on unpopular causes and holding the government accountable, I have to tell you, I do that for a reason. And the reason is this kind of shenanigans, and that's the best light I can spin it on in the criminal courts, has no place in a federal election.
All right, hold on. Okay, stepped away for a minute. Let's see. It's not letting me make that thing go away. There we go. All right. So it was fun to watch that go down. She was clearly mixing different cases, and she's very passionate about that. And I think that that's one of the really important things about all of this is that these people are so spun up that they don't even recognize that they're just in a state of emotion, and so they can't get their facts straight. But that's exactly how all of these things work, how MK Ultra works. It gets you spun up. You're in this constant reactive kind of phase, and you end up getting things mixed up, and that happens an awful lot. I mean, I know I get mixed up a lot too, but if it's something that you're actually going to go on TV for, you figured that you'd have everything, separated and all that other stuff. So that was a bit much. I think it was great because it was on Piers Morgan, and they obviously have a very democratic perspective about, things about life from there. And I think that that's another one of the exposure things that we're going through. It's one of those things that is just, kind of let's see. It's one of those things that oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Okay, I had to step off for a bit. It's one of those things that's helping everybody start to wake up, and I think that that's the thing that we need to be looking at now. With that being said, another reason why I'm not so squirrely here right now is because I missed one of the things that it's Bobby's talking about, and he brought up about the hackers to the Federal Reserve. Now, why would the Federal Reserve not have the best security known to mankind to prevent any kind of a hack? The fact that they would be able to get so much information that they would be able to actually kind of scare the Fed into, doing things a little bit differently. And I think that that's one of the things that shows that the Fed is super weak right now, and that we're not going to get a lot of those WEF things that we were talking about before, because they got greedy, because they started skipping steps, because they started doing things the wrong way. And I think that that's truly one of the points that needs to be focused on there, because the Federal Reserve seems to be the thing that everything kind of hinges around. Really, if you think about it, you think about even the Wizard of Oz was trying to tell us with the yellow brick road, follow the gold. And those are the things that tell us that if the Fed is getting weak, and people have been trying to communicate that the man behind the curtain you can find through a yellow brick road, it's pointing to the fact that this is very much coming to an end, that the world banking system as we know it is coming to an end. And so these are the things that are going to be able to help more and more people wake up, because if they don't have the funds with which to continue the charade, then that gives us, we the people, the opportunity to try to wake up the rest of the people who've been asleep. And then with people like let's see, the guy that we just watched, I forgot his name. Piers Morgan. With Piers Morgan starting to show the truth about how they're going after Trump, people are being embarrassingly woken up right there on the screen. And so, but I think that these are the things that are going to be required to help wake up the normies, because Lord knows they're not going to Fox News. They're so brainwashed they can't even take an opposing perspective into consideration, let alone bother themselves to find information from anywhere else other than the television that they've been programmed to continue to watch. So what's the best way to deprogram or get some of these people to start deprogramming? To start putting it on the stuff that they usually watch. And so this is definitely the movie. Like, this is the popcorn eating time right now where we're seeing what's going on. And I think that that's one of the one more of the millions of little tiny indicators that add up to show us a bigger picture. And that's, you know, where we can take our breaths of relaxation from. All right, Kay, let's drive on.
While the United States was worried about making sure they get their June toys out, Legos, Russia now vows to hold the United States responsible. Let's have a discuss-y-scush. So do you remember a couple weeks ago when Mr. B and Mr. B administration allowed you to the Ukraine the ability to use United States weapons on Russia? Well, guess what? They did on a city called Crimea. And now, in the city of Crimea, several people have lost their lives and over 150 people have been injured, thus forcing Russia to be able to now say, we are holding the United States responsible for this attack, because guess what was written on the side of those missiles? United States of America. Wow. Hey, don't look over here because the things over there are happening. We are so focused on the wrong shit in America that we have things of importance that are happening that genuinely could hold and bear weight against the people of the United States and the United States government, but we're going to focus on some petty bullshit. Priorities here are fucked. We need to get shit in order. This is nuts.
Okay, so how does Putin not have right to be upset with the United States? Now, Putin also understands that it's not the people. He's very aware. The SVR, or the former KGB, Aaron says, break, hold on here. Aaron says, yeah, there's a reason for the phrase, don't poke the bear. Yeah, right? But they've been poking the bear. Now, with that being said, Putin very much knows what's going on over here. So he doesn't have a problem with the people of the United States. I think what he's getting at is the group of people who have been causing all of the problems within this nation. And that's why they hate Putin. That's why they hate Trump, because they understand just as much that that's a threat to their continued corruption. So as they continue to do their corrupt things, which wakes up more and more people, because now they're afraid that their kids or they're going to have to go to a war that doesn't really matter, then it's exactly that threat that Putin made, I guess, is going to go exactly where it's supposed to go. And I have a feeling that there is going to be some reparations. God, the poor people of Crimea, they've just been fought over forever and a day, and they've always claimed that they were Russian more so than Ukrainian. So I hope that I pray for those people out there, because they've been going through a bunch of crap. Chachi says, fun fact, Crimean War was the first war photographed right before the U.S. Civil War. This fight with the cabal is an old fight, and it comes round robin. Yes, it does. Yeah, 100%. And I had no idea. Yeah. Huh. Imagine that. But we also see that the symbol that they put on the Ukrainian flag all the time there, which is associated with Moloch. So yeah, that's obviously a very similar fight. Huh. Weird. It's almost like, you know, people have been saying stuff about that for a while now.
Ready?
Yeah.
So here's something a lot of Christians don't know about the words that Jesus said on the cross before he died. All right, when Jesus was on the cross, he cried out in English, "It is finished." But that was just a translation of a Greek word, tetelestai, which was a word that was used in a business context on ancient receipts in the New Testament Bible times to indicate that a literal debt had been paid in full. But check this out. It was also used in a judicial context in court when a particular sentence was fully served, not like somewhat served or kind of served, like completely, fully, once and for all served. And then the word tetelestai was also used in a military context, meaning that a battle had been won. It was a word of like triumph and victory. So check this out. When Jesus hangs on the cross and he cries out, tetelestai, it is finished, he was declaring, your debt of sin is fully paid. The judgment for your sin has been fully served. And the spiritual war against death, sin, and Satan has been completely won. In Christ, the work of salvation, victory, reconciliation, and new life is fully yours. Ladies and gentlemen, it is finished.
That's pretty awesome. I have never heard that before. Have you heard that before? No? No. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Tetelestai. That's it is finished, like a receipt is finished, like something is completed. And now it gives it a lot more depth. I mean, when somebody says it is finished, I mean, we get that. But with that little bit of history lesson, the understanding of the Greek word that was used, it tells us so much more about the depth of what he was actually saying, in which case we know that, he was speaking on many different levels, and that God, that's so deep. It just absolutely blows my mind. That's like puts a smile on my face. That's pretty neat.
That amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Ready?
Yeah. There we go.
Fantastic, fantastic. How's everybody doing? Good. Very first thing we're going to do, as always, we're going to give thanks to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Are there reporters in this room somewhere? I can't see through the light. It's the mainstream media here. If you're here, I want you to hear this. Hear me. I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what you do in your newsroom. I don't care about your plans and your schemes to bring this nation down with your Democratic friends. Why? Because Jesus Christ is still on the throne. You may have your news cameras and your satellites and your 24-hour news, but Jesus Christ holds the world in his hands, and he holds me in it as well. And what he has for me, you cannot keep from coming true. It may not be the governor's mansion. It may not be any political seat, but you will not stop Jesus Christ's will in my life. So I do not fear you. Write your stories, tell your lies, tell your half-truths. But Christ is still on the throne. And because he lives in my heart and I live for him, I know whatever I need to do on this earth for him, it will get done. So we give him thanks first and foremost. All these other guys that come out here and talk to you about the issues, we know the issues. The wide open border, crime on the street, fentanyl killing our children, pornography in our schools. We know about the issues, the failing economy, the precarious place the United States finds itself in on the world stage with its enemies, the horrible, absolutely dreadful administration that is currently leading our nation right now. It is mind-numbing to think that the most energetic, the greatest nation on earth, people seek to come to for that vaunted thing that we have, the freedom and energy and intelligence that we have in this country. And all 350 million people are being led by somebody who just barely knows that they're here on earth. We know what the issues are, but I didn't really come here to go into details about the issues. What I really came here to do, I came here to get something started.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
See, because we got a problem in this country. We got a bunch of clapper-trap people that sit behind news media desks that want to talk about fake trials for President Trump. Turn the television on, they talk about first one actor and then another actor, talking about all manners of foolishness. Talking about MAGA Republicans being the most dangerous people on earth.
Yes.
I don't know. I didn't see any MAGA Republicans on 9/11 blowing up buildings and airplanes.
No, you didn't.
I don't think any MAGA Republicans were over in Israel murdering.
I know that was a long. I could listen to that man forever. Texas Liberty, you're lucky. Man, I'm jealous. Yeah, I'd be happy to go hang out at that church all the time, listen to that man talk. And then the
And
fact
then
that
Mark Robinson right behind him, you know.
Yeah.
And you know how Mark Robinson got his start, right?
No.
He went to a county commissioner's meeting and told him he would not give up his guns because he had a Second Amendment right.
Okay.
And why should only law-abiding citizens be punished?
Wow. Wow.
And now he's lieutenant governor of Georgia.
Wow.
I believe Georgia or North Carolina. I
Okay.
can't remember.
I clearly need to have a lot more information. Okay.
Thank you, Michelle. You have a
Thank you,
wonderful
Michelle.
evening,
Thanks.
too.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Anyway, so wow, that was wow, that was motivating. We could use somebody like that as president or vice president candidate, vice presidential candidate right now. And see, that's another thing is there's always the wild card opportunity, somebody nobody had ever heard of. The cabal tried to do that with what's her face out of Alaska.
Right.
You know,
Sarah Palin.
Yeah, Sarah Palin.
He's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ready?
Interesting to see how everything plays out. I'm excited. Yeah. All right, let's drive
Hello,
on.
I'm Mike Lindell, and I'm excited to bring you my Giza Dream bed sheets for the best offer ever. We're all experiencing unprecedented rising prices, but I was able to secure a limited amount of Giza cotton for a great price, and I'm going to pass those savings directly on to you. Get my Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98 with your promo code. They're the most luxurious sheets ever, made with the world's finest cotton. Grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River, where the weather conditions are perfect for growing cotton. My sheets are ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. I guarantee they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 50% on my Giza Dream bed sheets. That's as low as $29.98. Quantities are extremely limited at these amazing prices, so please order now.
Santino, how do you feel about your Giza sheets?
Giza sheet about the Giza sheets. They're amazing. Yeah, like we just switched out. We have taupe.
It's beige.
I'm just going off of what the rapper says. It's taupe. Anyways, yeah, it's beige. And it's awesome. And they're just as comfortable as the blue ones. Can't say that one color is any more comfortable than the other one.
Oh.
It's apparently not like Ferraris because everybody knows the red Ferraris are the faster ones.
Oh, gosh. Really?
But that's just knowledge.
Just knowledge?
It's just random knowledge that people know. The red ones are always faster.
Okay.
So I can tell you with certainty that there's not one sheet that's more comfortable than the other based off of color alone. But I can tell you that there is a difference between a Giza sheet from Mike Lindell versus a sheet from any other sheety place. Anyways, so make sure that you're going to mypillow.com/DTOO. Yes, Santino, he's lacking in the color depth department. Yeah, I know. But exactly 100% vroom vroom. See, everybody knows. Just because you didn't know, yeah, red means fast.
All right.
The red Ferraris are always the faster ones.
Okay.
All right, I'm just saying.
You ready?
Yeah.
7 years ago, when I was working with you, I was dead broke, man. That job for me as a stand-in was one of the lifelines that kept me from completely just drowning in financial misery. I essentially had to let go of the reins of the control of my life, of trying to think that I was responsible for everything, that I could do it all, that I knew better than God knew about what my life should look like, about what my career should look like. And the minute I released it and truly and honestly and totally and wholly gave it away to Him, everything changed. It took a little bit of time. It was about 3 months after that before I got cast in The Chosen. But I knew in that moment that this answered prayer was the beginning of the next chapter of my life. And my life has never been the same since.
That's awesome. That's a neat testimony that he has there. That's really cool. I had no idea he was for a stand-in, but now that I see that he does look like Russell Brand, I could see how that would happen. But anyways, I think that that's fascinating. He always gets us to the point that he wants us to get to. Funny how that works out, isn't it? I laugh at my own jokes. It's awful. Yeah, that is very powerful. Very, very powerful. Love him and The Chosen, and season 4 is awesome. Yeah, we gotta. I guess so. We gotta sign up for. We finally found our power cable for the TV. We haven't had TV the whole time we've been here until like what, this weekend. Anyway, yeah, it was buried in the garage. So we gotta sign up.
Still no camera.
Yes. What do you, no camera? Oh, still I can't find the other camera. No, no, we're with a makeshift camera. But with that being said, whatever. Anyways, yeah, whatever. And let's drive on. Yeah. Gotta sign up.
Yes, that can't go over too well. That was Andrea Mitchell. Yeah, asking why the white men over 60 are in his inner circle. Those are usually the men who know how to apply chest compression. Isn't she married to an old white man?
Yeah.
Oh. Why are you married to an old white guy? Gross. That's lack of diversity, Andrea. Probably in it for the money. Look, the guy is this is why they're applying the detail. The guy is the big story here is obviously he's taking a week sequestered from his actual job to prep for 90 minutes. That's weird. I mean, it's just weird. And the media is like, oh, this makes sense. Sure, this makes sense. And you fill them up with all these details. So you don't just let that sink in. This guy needs to leave his job for a week. What does that tell you? That he won't be missed, because it's no different whether he's there or not. It's like when Jesse's off the 5. Why does it take 7 days? What's really going on? Does it take that long for the new face to heal? Does it take that long to 3D print a body double? I don't know. And then they're doing it in an airport hangar. Are they detonating a bomb? Are they handling a contagious virus? Couldn't they do this in an empty auditorium right around the corner? They are investing more time and effort on this than anything that mattered to the American people for 4 years. Not immigration, not crime, not inflation. They're acting as though Joe is Ukraine and Trump is Putin. Like the entire weight of their administration is being directed toward 90 minutes with Darth Vader. If they only had the same energy for their real job, could you imagine if they looked at illegal immigration the way they looked at Trump? If they looked at crime the way they looked at Trump? If they looked at inflation the way they looked at Trump? They wouldn't have to look at Trump then. They'd be okay, but they're in a panic.
That's why this 90 minutes, Judge Janine, is the most important 90 minutes for the entire progressive movement. If he doesn't do well, Trump's reelected in this whole progressive experiment that they're
progressive experiment. They stole that from Teddy Kennedy, or not Teddy Kennedy, but Teddy Roosevelt. Anyways, the only good Roosevelt, as far as I can tell. That was a president. God, I really like him a lot. He's funny. So there's a couple of things there, because he talked about 3D print the new Biden. So that's kind of a hat tip to all of the people saying that, that he's an android or something like that. But I don't think that that's the case. I think what's really going on is that there's some actors there. Question is which actor? If he falls, we're going to have to really look hard and see if it's Jim Carrey. But regardless of that, I think that it's something that we should look at to see who is playing the character, because it does take a long time to prep for a show. Really, if you think about it, and we know that this is a show, there's no other reason, because you can't take a dementia patient, that somebody that's so far gone like Joe Biden, and try to get enough facts in that rattle can that he's got between his ears. There's absolutely no way that they're going to get him to remember anything or to do what they need somebody that's in such a poor state to do, right? So what does that say? That says that there probably is an actor, and it's just going to take that amount of time. It's kind of a, if you can read between the lines kind of thing, you can see how that might be the case. So it should be a good show once we get to see the presidential debate. You have your money on Jim Carrey, Aaron? All right.
Me too, Aaron.
Drugs, loads and loads of drugs. Yeah, well, yeah, who knows what they're giving them? I'm sure that they got some kind of shot that they could give somebody to bring them back for a couple of hours, but those things stopped working a long time ago. They must be expensive, otherwise they'd keep giving them to them. Fried them.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Can God give me arms and legs? Good. Will he? I don't know. Am I praying for it? Yeah. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to get on the bike with you and smash into a pole and break a leg. But could God still use me to be a miracle if I don't even get a miracle? Why? Because of the miracle that happened in my soul, in my heart, and my mind. You see a limbless man smile, resonating the joy and purpose that some of you haven't found yet.
All right, Santino.
That's powerful, very powerful. And he brings up the ultimate point, and that is that he'd like to have the chance to have a broken leg. It's fascinating when those perspectives are given to us, and we've talked about the perspective, all of that. But the point of that perspective is it all boils down to the fact that we're supposed to be in joy. How do we get in joy? Well, I mean, God gets us there. That's where our joy is, because we recognize that, you know, nothing that's outside of us is going to affect us any more than he deems it to be. And so long as we're following in that path, things, you know, get a lot better. And then we can live in that joy. You know, we take on that lighter yoke, as opposed to thinking that we have to go out and fight the whole world ourselves. And so let's live in that joy. He is amazing, Jenny. Very, very amazing. And you know, he has found that joy that so many of us seek. And that's the thing that we should keep working for. And it should be one of those things that tells you that it's attainable. And how is that attainable? By keeping your eyes fixed on God. And that's how we get there. We get there by having that faith and confidence and seeing the world that, you know what, we're here and we're going to be the best version of whatever we can be, and it will be beautiful. And we just have to accept all of those blessings, more blessings than we know how to receive. Jenny says it's not about what we don't have. It's about how we deal with what we do have, what we have. Yeah, perfect. 100%. Yeah, beautiful. Beautifully said. And I think that that's the best way to close this out. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a moment and hit that thumbs up over on Rumble and YouTube. Smash that heart over on X, and take that red pill over on Pilled.
Yep. So thank you very much. And we do appreciate. Oh, okay. You got this. I'm leaving it alone now. Otherwise, you're going to beat me later. All right. So it's time for me to go get beat. We love you all. Have a great night. God bless and be safe.